Consider the fabric of your everyday life. Now, imagine all of that disappearing. Your home is no longer a safe place to be, and you're forced to flee your community, your country, and everything you've ever known for uncertainty. When this happened to Cedra, she was just 12 years old. Her family became refugees in Jordan, and her dad took the risk of finding work so that he could send his kids to school, knowing it was against the law. He was taken by officials back to Syria, and after years of waiting, her family was told they would be resettled as refugees in the United States, but they wouldn't be able to bring her dad with them. My name is Heidi, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager at Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest, where we work to stabilize lives during times of crisis and transition. We build foundations for people to thrive, and we preserve dignity and respect for our most vulnerable neighbors. It has been my honor over the past 2 years to walk alongside refugees like Cedra and so many others that we welcome into the Tucson community. I am amazed by the amount of work that goes into the life of every single person who comes through our doors. Before Cedra and her family arrived, we found and furnished an apartment that would be their new home. We helped them get enrolled in school when they got here, Cedra and her younger brother and her mom in English classes, and we helped her mom find the first job she'd had in 17 years. A team of staff and volunteers work with every refugee who arrives, navigating these new systems for up to 5 years after they arrive, because we know the work doesn't stop when people get off the plane. Over the past 5 years, Lutheran Social Services has helped over 1,500 former refugees make Tucson their home. And our staff who do this work are uniquely qualified because most of them have a similar story. They also were once refugees. So that connection that families have with people immediately, as soon as they get off the plane, they see that their life could be so much better. They see the opportunities that they have. However, government funding for the refugee resettlement program is rapidly decreasing. So we need you, our community, now more than ever. Today, you can make an impact in the life of a young adult like Cedra and become a refugee youth mentor. With your gift of $200, we can give a sewing machine to a former refugee, giving her financial independence and stability. With your gift of $2,500, we can continue providing one-on-one support for another month to up to 30 families. And with your gift of $10,000, we can give 20 former refugees community interpreter training, allowing them to connect their community with resources in hospitals, schools, and more. In October of 2016, Cedra arrived in Tucson, unsure of what to expect. She has now graduated from high school. She is fluent in English, and she's attending Pima Community College studying biology. With the uncertainty in the refugee resettlement program, the likelihood that her dad can join them is practically non-existent. We can advocate for changes, but we can also make sure that refugees who are already here have every opportunity to live the life that they want to live. Please join us in this work. Thank you.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi.
Did you feel pressured at the end to
Yes.
speed up? Try really hard not to feel that pressure. I thought you were very conversational, good eye contact. Your movements seemed natural. Cedra, for a while, I don't know why, I just felt like the Cedra story went on a little long. Mm-hmm. Was that bad of me? No. Like, I wanted to get to, okay, but what is Cedra the only one? Mm-hmm. Or I wanted to get more to the 1,500 former refugees a little sooner, but I could be wrong. They might differ. I did want you to really pause when you said that these volunteers, they were former refugees too, because that's very impactful in that they not only they lived the life, and now they're giving back to the program that's saving more just like them. Mm-hmm. It's very powerful, and it kind of got glossed over. But otherwise, I think that it's just practice.
Thank you. So I agree with Christy. The pacing was a little fast for me at times. It felt like I wanted you to slow down at times, and I can't say specifically when those were, but it felt like there was a pace that you had picked, and you just kept that pace. But a couple things that I really like, you have great use of tone variety. Like, your voice changes based on where you are in the story, and it's nice. Like it really connects me with you. You know, like you and I are sitting and having coffee, and I can tell the times you get excited, but then also the times you're thinking. So that's really good. I would say be a little more aware of movements. I mean, movements were good, but sometimes I just want you to think about them a little bit, because sometimes there's more of an impact when you just stand and you talk to us. There's an intensity there. But otherwise, other than like the pacing, think about your pacing as you get into the practice. And the more you sort of do it and know it, walk away from it a little bit, come back at it, you'll start noticing the difference with your pacing.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi.
You did a great job. Good story. And I really like your speech a lot and the way you delivered it. I think you have a tiny bit of the same problem that Alan had, which is smiling through the story, the parts of the story that were actually pretty hard to hear. Yeah. So again, I think John Peter's advice about watch the video, see what your face is doing, what is it that you want to convey with your face, because you have a really nice smile and a really, so it's very noticeable. The other thing is, some of the same feedback that I've given other people about bringing me in as the donor a little bit earlier. So if you can find a place earlier in your speech to let me know that I can make a difference, I think that could be powerful. And there was a part where you said, we need you, our community, blah, 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 blah. Lose the community part and just say, we need you. And then stop for a minute and then tell me why you need me and how I can help. Yeah. That's my thought.
All right. Thank you.